few months back I posted a pattern for a vase that was built out of concentric rings and cut at an angle on the scroll saw. And basically what we did is we built two of these and we stacked them on top of each other upside down and ended up with a vase. And at the time I talked about sanding the outside and how I used my power sander to sand that, and that worked okay. But the inside was another story. How could you get in here and sand these walls smooth? Now, again, most people weren't going to look inside the vase, so it wasn't that big a deal, but it was one of those things that just always bugged me. I wanted this sanded inside, and I just couldn't get it done by hand. So when I saw the Guinevere and I saw the bulb attachment that could go on the flexible shaft, this project came to mind. So I'm going to show you here just a little bit of how easy it is to take this bulb sander and run through the grits and get the inside of this bowl really smooth. One thing about this system now that I think is really important, and that is that with this 60 grit sandpaper or abrasive on these tools, the dust really flies. So you want to wear a dust mask, and you probably want dust extraction of some kind. Now the flexible shaft has another accessory you can buy that hooks up to your shop vac, and basically it shrouds the flexible shaft with an opening at the top, so as you sand, the dust is collected back into your shop vac. I haven't purchased that yet, not sure I'm going to. I've found that just taking my shop vac hose and clamping it up here right underneath where I'm going to be working on the project seems to work pretty good. So for the time being, I'm just going to try that. So let me turn this on. I'll give you a little demonstration of sanding out the inside of this bowl. Really couldn't ask for more. Run through the grits on that. The inside of that bowl is going to be every bit as nice as the outside. So there's one application that I think is just fabulous, and I'm sure you can think of other uses for this also. Here's another simple example of what you could do this with your scroll saw projects. Here's a little dagger / letter opener, whatever you want to call it, that I just cut out. And what we need to do is sharpen the blades down. And I've always done this on a oscillating spindle sander, a tabletop, and it works, but it's a little bit trouble. So these drums should come in great for this. So we'll give this a try. You can probably see that it's not going to take long to get that letter opener down to a nice sharp blade. Another project I think this tool is going to work out pretty well on once I get the longer drum is to round over pieces of intarsia. I'm going to zoom in on that and show you just how fast I was able to take that to a nice round shape. This 60 grit sandpaper on this drum is great, and the fact that the drum is flexible and contours to the shape just gives you all that much better finish. And that's the 60 grit abrasive that's in there. So take that on down to the 320 grit and just imagine what you're going to have. been working with your sander for a while, of course your drums are going to get clogged a little bit with sawdust, and they're very thick sleeves, so they're going to last a long time. But they do include this abrasive cleaner. You just simply turn the motor on, run it across there a couple of times, got a fresh new drum ready for another project. Okay, I think you can tell by my demonstration that I like this tool a lot. It's very heavy duty, much more so than it looks when you see it in the store. Again, I did purchase mine at Woodcraft, and they do not carry all the accessories for it. The Woodcraft I was in, and from what I can tell in their online catalog, they only carry the base motor, the basic finishing kit, and the flexible shaft. Now they also sold the abrasives separate, and they sold the drums separate, but they did not have the dust extractor, and they did not have the longer drums in stock, and I didn't see them online. Fortunately, King Arthur Tools has a website where you can go purchase these extra accessories, and that's what I'll be doing for the longer drums. Okay, now on to the not so good news. I did have a couple of small problems, easily fixed, but they were problems. The first time I used the flexible shaft with the bulb sander in it, I did have one of the strips of the abrasive pull loose. And I don't know if that was my fault or defective material or what it was, but I put a little epoxy on it, clamped it up, and it hasn't come off again since. The other thing is, if you leave this flexible shaft hooked up all the time and you're working on the drum, this thing still turns. You can't turn it off, so you've got to have this thing laying someplace where it's not going to take off and damage something. So when I built this little stand that I've got everything mounted to, I just built a little wide joint here for it to set in to keep it up and out of the way. But you do have to remember to put that away, and the first time I turned it on, it did scuff up my workbench a little bit. Last, price. This thing's not cheap. I am one of those people that hate sanding, so I'm willing to spend a little money to make it easier for me. The base motor retails at Woodcraft for $139. The basic sanding kit retailed for, I believe it was $131 if I remember right, and the flexible shaft was $79. The drums, the small drums are like $39, the long drums are $49. I only expect to buy one more of the long drums, so that should be the end of what I pay there. They do have an advanced basic or an advanced sanding and polishing kit that comes with polishing pads, in the different grits for your drums, and I believe that's like $149 for that kit. And it comes with the longer drums, plus the abrasives and the polishing kit and some wax to do some fine polishing. Again, I like this product. It was a little pricey, but to be honest with you, I think I'll get my money's worth out of it because I love what it does and how efficiently it does it. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm Steve Good. Please visit my blog at www.scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com.